Hello and welcome to another live lesson. It's 4 o'clock. It's a Monday afternoon. Unfortunately, my normal computer is out of action. So I have to use a different computer. And as a result, the camera is in a different place. I know it's down here. So there's always this funny angle at the moment. Sometimes I might look at the camera, sometimes I might not. So, how is everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. It's a very hot day. Again, it looks like it was threatening to rain this morning, but it's now just really sunny as always. Hope you had a good morning. Hope you had a good lesson as well. Good morning lessons. If you are watching this later, please fast forward maybe about the first 5 minutes, because usually we don't get into it for the first 5 minutes. So in the meantime, there's some things that I can just talk about with you guys before everything starts. So let's see, what do we have at the moment? So on Monday, today, okay, right. I want to get out of this. And back. Okay. So Arena F says, good afternoon, Richard. Good afternoon, Arena F. Welcome to today's lesson. Hope you're doing well. So yes, the weekend, guys, in terms of leisure activities, you have the usual on offer, going to Gozo, going to Camino. So definitely worth looking at that if you want to see what it's all about. Alida, good afternoon. Welcome back. Lovely to see you back. And I hope everything is well in Patagonia. So, buenas tardes. But it's probably the morning for you. So, buenos dias, I suppose. Sergio, obrigado. Welcome back as well from Brazil. So we have Russian, Argentinian, Brazilian, and I'm sure we have the usual as well watching. So welcome. Good afternoon. I hope you are all doing well, and thank you for joining. Jorge, good afternoon as well. Welcome to the lesson today. And Alida says, yes, it's 11 a.m. in Argentina. Okay, so excellent stuff, and thank you for joining. So, guys, today we are looking at writing skills, and we are going to be looking at the type of writing skills that are really good for general English, especially level tests, and IELTS as well. So we're going to be looking at that as well. So there's going to be this will be good for people who are doing IELTS preparation. If you don't know what IELTS is, it's a very good international English exam that is recognized if you want to get a working visa in another country, or if you wish to go to university. So we're going to be looking at writing skills, and we're going to look at writing essays as well, how you can write essays, and how you can try and link ideas together, and how to structure your essay as well. So like I said, guys, if you are intermediate, then you are watching this just in time, because intermediates, you guys have a level test tomorrow. So you will learn some things that will be really helpful to you for tomorrow's level test. But if you are pre-intermediate or elementary, then this is still useful, because you've got your tests coming up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think in about 4 weeks' time we have the upper intermediate test. As for people doing IELTS, you can never do enough essays. And if you are not the sort of person who's writing essays, or you don't need to write essays, there is still going to be something for you guys to learn. Okay, so we're going to look at a particular question, and from there we're going to look at how we can structure it and write about it. So I'm going to write the question into the live chat section, and then we will look at it. I need to move my hand. Okay, so we've got this question. I've paraphrased it a little bit as well. Okay, so I haven't gone with anything that you might find in a level test, and I've gone with something that once appeared in an IELTS exam as well. Like I said, I've paraphrased it, and I've just made it really short, and there's a reason being. Okay, so we've got this sentence, okay? So this is a statement, and the statement is, crime is on the rise. Discuss why this is. Okay, so it's very general, first of all, and it's just asking you to discuss. It doesn't really tell you anything else either. Now, if you see a question like, well, if you see an essay sentence like this, and we call this statement, okay? We call this a statement. So it's not a question, it's a statement, and you guys have to discuss this statement. So what's the first thing we need to do? Step one, okay, whenever you're writing an essay, own the question, okay? This is very general, okay? This is very broad. So here are some words you need to know so you can follow. This is a general statement, okay? Okay, now general means broad. So it's not specific. It's an open statement. There's lots you can talk about. So the first thing you need to do is to own the statement. You need to think about maybe 2 to 3 things that you know, or you can have a pretty good idea that are going to be on the rise. So don't forget, rise means increasing in this case. Rise means increasing. Now, it depends where you are in the world. But let's say no matter where you are, maybe we can say 3 things, or even 2 things actually, are on the rise. Okay, so we've got, let's say, you have cybercrime. Now, cybercrime is basically internet crime. And within that, we can give 2 examples. We can give information theft and money. Let's say, okay, I think I've got that right, and money laundering. So what am I talking about here? Theft, well, theft is another word for steal. So stealing information. And money laundering is basically corrupt money, illegal money, moving money in an illegal way. So automatically you have thought of your category in your discussion, and you've got your 2 subcategories. Okay, so you've now begun to narrow the question, your answer down, sorry. So we have something called lexical sets in English, okay? Lexical sets, okay? Now, a lexical set is basically your title, your subject. In this case, it's going to be crime. We then have something called lexical chains. Now, lexical chains are any words that are linked to crime. So we've got, for example, I'm going to show you the lexical, some lexical chains, and then I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to show me your vocabulary. So you guys can then tell me the lexical sets, sorry, the lexical chains you know from the word crime. So for example, we've got, so lexical chain, we have obviously cybercrime, we have theft, and we have, let's see, we've got prison, for example, as well. So those would be a lexical chain. Sergio says lexical is new word for me. Is it about crime? All right. Okay, let me explain. Now, lexical is another word for words, okay, or vocabulary. We're talking about words here. And lexical sets and chains, we're talking about word categories, and then you have something called lexical chains, and this is to do with the link lexical chains. You've got such as your cybercrime, your theft, your prison, and then you've got something called let's say lexical chunks of language, and this is when you've got words together, such as the crime was committed last night. So this would be a sentence, and that's a lexical chunk. You've got words together. So my question to you guys is, I'm just going to give you the opportunity now to show me how many lexical chains you know of the lexical set crime. So crime is our lexical set, and what I would like you guys to do for me is lexical chains, so or lexical chain. So can you guys tell me, you can write in the live chat, how many words do you know that come under the word crime? So we've got, so far, we've got cybercrime, we've got the word theft, we've got the word prison. I also mentioned money laundering. How many words do you know that come under this lexical set? So we're looking for lexical chains. So feel free to write in the live chat any words you know that are to do with crime. So Alida says, oh, wow, that's a great start, Alida. You've got felony, illegal, excellent work, great start. Okay, so we've got 2 lexical chains there. Thank you very much, Alida. Would anyone else like to have a go? Maybe you guys can think of some other words that you know are linked to crime. You can always use verbs as well if you know any verbs. They don't always have to be nouns. Alida says irregular. Yes, if you want, you can use irregular verbs as well. If you want, you can even try and come up with a lexical chunk, for example, words together that are to do with crime, a bit like the crime was committed last night. Alida says corruption. Yes, Alida, you're doing a great job here. Thank you very much. Yes, corruption is another very good example. So we have some good examples here. Jorge says robbery, bribe. Yes, I think you've written, yes, I know what you're going for there. You're going for the word bribe. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Bribe, very good. What I would say is we just need to change one letter in that. It's an honest mistake to make. Yes, well done, Jorge. Very good. Yes, you've corrected yourself. So well done. Yes, not bride, but bribe. Good. Well done. So that's our lexical chain, and we're off to a good start. Now, let's look at the introduction. Introduction, I'm going to recommend this type of introduction. I'm going to write it, and then you guys can have a little look, and I'll explain it as well. So I'm just going to be silent for just a moment as I just input the introduction that you can write here. Oops. What did I put? I previously put okay, let me explain what I have written, linkers, and all the rest. So in my introduction, I've gone in and I've summarized what I'm going to be talking about. So I've said, okay, there are many crimes that are on the rise, comma, and none more so than. Now, this one here, this link of phrase, none more so than. What does this mean? None more so than. What we are saying when we add this type of language, we are saying none more so than, meaning this is a major one, basically, or this is a major one. Okay, so none more so than, we're saying this is a major one. This is really big. This is important. This is maybe the main one. And this is a really nice bit of language where you're then telling the person, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. None more so than the likes of, and then you go in with cyber crime. So you've got crime, and then you've got your sub category of crime, which is cyber crime, with two examples, comma, such as data theft and money laundering. Now, really important, guys, if you're going to use such as, it's very common that you're going to put a comma before such as. We usually put this towards the end of the sentence, and we're giving maybe two examples. Now, whether this is general English or IELTS, what you have done here is you've now owned the question. You have given the direction that you're going to go in. It's very clear for the person reading it, and you would have ticked the first box, which is really important, and that is the first box of structure. So you've now written your introduction. You haven't just rewritten the sentence. You have, what we would say, you have expanded on that statement. Okay, now expanded meaning you've added to it. Okay, and you've given it a little bit more. So what I'm going to do here for you guys is I'm going to I would like you guys to try and write your introduction now. I'm going to write something, and I would like you to try and own the question in your introduction. So I'm going to come out with a statement. It's going to be a little bit similar, and I would like you guys to try and own the question, own the sentence. You need to think about your lexical set as well. So let's start off with this. we're going to go with this statement here, which is okay. Yeah, I'll go with this. Actually, no, that's probably already a little bit. I'm going to go with this. Actually, sorry, 1 moment. Oops. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm using a different computer. Sometimes I press the wrong key. Okay, so again, we've got a very general question. The environment is a major problem. Discuss what the biggest problems are and what can be done. Okay, so just like with crime, what we need to do is we need to own the question. So environment is our lexical set. We now need to think of the lexical chains that are going to help us write an introduction that provides the focus. So I suggest don't think of the whole environment, think of a particular issue within the environment. So for example, maybe sea pollution. So for example, you could end up saying the environment is a serious issue and none more so than let's say single-use plastics, or none more so than the pollution of our sea, such as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Or maybe you might want to say the environment is a serious issue, none more so than rainforest fires, such as in Brazil and where else? And Australia, for example. So you can give 2 examples, and that way you own the question. So when answering a question like this, and the environment is a very common question that people get these days, it's always going. In fact, you should always prepare some kind of an answer for environment. It's one of the most commonly asked questions, especially in the IELTS at the moment. As for general English, you will probably see a statement not too dissimilar to this, not necessarily in the environment. It could be on something else. But it's always going to be these general issues that people like to talk about, or it's something that you might see in the news. So important to have a good general understanding and a good basic sort of general knowledge of vocabulary along each topic. It could be, for instance, especially when it comes to things like anything academic, education, socializing, social media, all of these things are very much the case. And following now from COVID, if you were to take the IELTS, for example, you shouldn't be too surprised if you ended up seeing 1 or 2 questions maybe that were related to COVID. Okay, so let's see what you guys end up writing. If needs be, I will be more than happy to write part of the answer of the introduction here, and then we can move on. And we'll have a look at what we can do with the rest of it. Don't forget, guys, none more so than really important statement and such as really good linkers that we can use there. So while you guys are working on that one and thinking about it, actually, let me just in case you're struggling, I'm going to write part of the sentence and you guys can try and finish it off for me if needs be. So, environment. Okay, so let's see. Alida has said the environment is a major problem and no more so than global warming. Really, really close there, Alida. I'm going to give you 9 out of 10. Instead of no, just go with none and that would be perfect. So really well done. Yeah, the environment is a major problem and none more so than, yes, so don't forget, none more so than global warming. And then you've got the opportunity to expand on that, such as maybe, for instance, the ice caps, so such as the ice caps melting in the Arctic, for example. What's way down there? I'm not sure. Okay, I've changed it to Antarctica, closer to Argentina. So such as the ice caps melting in the, okay, I should have actually changed the rest of that sentence. But you get what I mean. Such as the ice surrounding Antarctica melting. And if I should have actually, with ice caps, I should have gone with the ice caps melting in the Arctic. I decided to change it. I thought I would make it closer to Argentina for that one. But yeah, you can go in with that. So really well done. Excellent example. Let's move on to the next thing. Now, how should you break up your paragraphs? Okay, let's say you want to put in 2 paragraphs. You've got 2 examples, so you're going to dedicate 2 paragraphs to each one. And it's very simple. How do you start to talk about it? You've got some options. 1. With regard to X, whatever X might be. Regarding X, whatever X might be. So with regard to global warming, with regard to ice caps melting, with regard to cybercrime, with regard to data theft, for example. And the same with regarding money laundering. So you can introduce the subject of your discussion in a paragraph with words like regarding. You can also go with, let's say, the second paragraph here. I mean, this one is quite a good one to go with, actually, for the first paragraph. Second paragraph, we can probably go with, let's say, as for why, you could go with however. Concerning why. You could even go with on the other hand, and you can always go with a little conditional if we consider why. Okay, so we've just got a few examples here. So these are some good examples. So you've got with regard and regarding for paragraph 1. And paragraph 2, you guys can go for as for or however, concerning why, or on the other hand, if we consider why. Now, what does this mean? Concerning something. Now, concern generally is like a worry, but when we start saying concerning, we're now changing the topic, and we're simply saying if we talk about why. In this case, in its simplest language, we are saying we're now going to talk about why. But it does tell us that maybe there's a negative to it because it is from the word concern, which is worry. Now, if we consider, again, if we consider, think of or think about. Okay, so this is really important language that we can use. So I'm going to write a part of a sentence that would make up a paragraph, and I would like you guys to try and complete it in the best way you think you can, using one of these examples. I'm going to stick with the previous one of crying. Okay, so this is just the start of it. Now you'll notice I haven't gone for it's, I've gone for it is. When you write essays, make sure you write in a formal style. So don't contract your speech. Use contractions. Don't go with would have, for example. Go with would have, should have, it is, we are, they are. Really important that you go for a formal style of writing. So Alida says regarding data protection, excellent, perfect. And that works wonderfully. Automatically, you've been able to introduce the start of what you are going to talk about. And it's very clear and it links back to your introduction and it's spot on. So then you get another mark. And this time the mark is for working towards what we call cohesion. Now, cohesion is how your essay sort of ties together. Can we follow? The answer is yes, we can follow what you are writing about. Now, let's go for the next one. Okay, so this is now paragraph 2. You're introducing the other lexical chain that you are going to talk about. And here you start off regarding, so now this is your second paragraph. What can you go in with? What can you use? Let's see what you write. We've got some options. Let's see what you end up writing. You don't have to write one word. If you want to write more than one word, then you can. And then that will take us nicely on to the next bit. And the next bit is just looking at some phrases we can use to make arguments. Nice, nice. Yeah, I agree. I like that. If we talk about, what I would say is before we talk about, we can go with on the other hand if. So I think just before you go with if we talk about, I think you just need something before, like however, if we talk about, or however, if we look at. Actually, that's another option. However, if we look at, for example, on the other hand, if we can use the word assess. Now, assess is a little bit like to look at something in detail. and to look at something carefully. So assess is a good word. So yeah, you've got some good options. So well done there, Elida. Nicely done. Now, when you want to put an argument in, what phrase can we use? Well, we need to be careful. You need to read the question carefully. Sometimes it might ask for your opinion. Nevertheless, if we, okay, yes, nevertheless, Alida, we can use. However, we are only going to use nevertheless if we are meaning but. So if you're using nevertheless, it means we are going to give, we're still talking about the same thing in some way, but we're going to give a different argument. This is something we might do within an actual paragraph. So let's say we're talking about data theft, for example. You might say, regarding data theft, this has gone, the number of crimes have gone up, full stop. Nevertheless, comma, there are a lot of apps, there are a lot of security checks that have now made data theft much harder. So you're still talking, we're still going to be talking about the same lexical chain. But I like what you're doing. I like what you're thinking. So how do we introduce an argument whereby we're not going to say our opinion directly, but we still want to give an argument? Well, we can say, for instance, the first thing is it can be argued. Now, what does it mean, can be argued? We're saying this is an argument. We're not saying necessarily this is my opinion, but we are presenting an argument in a formal way. So we can go with it can be argued. So I strongly recommend you go with it can be argued. Another option that we can use, for example, is let's go with it can be said. So it's very, very similar to it can be argued, and it's the same thing. So I'm going to write the next bit now. Let's see what you say. And then we're just going to finish off with the conclusion. So let's see how you guys do. You need to try and complete both, and you can use both. So let's see how you you don't want to use the same one twice. You just need to finish this sentence here, or two sentences, and you've got the opportunity to use both. It can be argued and it can be said. Let's see how you do it. Let's see how you guys do it. So we're looking at it can be argued, it can be said, which is where, and these are good phrases to use to introduce an argument or to discuss an argument. We'll then finish off with what I would recommend is a really good way to conclude, but I'll save that for the end. So let's see how you guys write this one, and then we'll look at the conclusion, and that will probably take us to about the end of today's lesson as well. Like I said, guys, this stuff is really important, especially if you are taking a level test soon. It can be argued, it can be said. Yes, Alida, perfect, excellent, well done. So, how to summarize? Well, to start your your sentence. To summarize, here are a couple of really good phrases you can use that really improve the quality of your writing. And if you're ever giving a formal talk, I also recommend you to use this language. So, first one is now, taking into consideration the discussion above. Really good start. It simply means thinking about what you wrote. Okay, that's what it means. Thinking about what you wrote. It would seem that, what does this mean? It looks like. But this is really good formal language. So this is why I would recommend. The alternative would be to go with in short. It seems that. Okay, and this is the second option. In short, it seems that. So if you have if you still need to try and make up a word count, you can go for something like taking into consideration the discussion above, it would seem that. However, if you are short on words, you can simply summarize with in short, it seems that. And that's what it means. It looks like. You're about to give your opinion, and to give your opinion in a conclusion with it seems that, it's a good way because you're not using your personal pronoun. Generally speaking, in essays, we want to avoid our personal pronoun. Very formal expressions. Yes, Sergio, very formal. I mean, I would encourage you definitely to use it. Sergio, oh, very good. Thank you very much, Sergio. If you do watch it again and you have any questions, just write in the comment section below. I will look, and if you have any further questions, I will respond in the comment section in the video after this lesson. So if you want to watch it again, please do. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask me in the comment section and I will get round to answering your questions. But yes, this is formal. This is actually very formal English, and it's a good type of English to know when writing essays. This is the sort of thing that would help you in a general English exam, and it would help you if you take any kind of English exam, especially something like the IELTS or even Cambridge, actually. So this is, I do recommend watching it again. And this has now brought us to the end of today's lesson. So thank you very much to everyone who's watched, and thank you to those who have contributed in the live chat. So a big thank you to Alida. I thought, Alida, today you did really well. So muchas gracias. Sergio, thank you very much as well. And thank you very much in advance for watching the video again. Please ask any questions in the comment section. And to the others who I know who have watched today, such as Jorge, thank you for your contribution today in the live chat section as well. And good luck if you are taking a test soon. And Irina F, thank you very much for watching the lesson today. If you're watching this later, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have a good evening. And if you are watching this and you have a test coming up, best of luck. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new, and share with people you know who are thinking or looking to learn English. And if you want to know more about how you can learn English at AM Language in Malta, on this sunny Mediterranean island just off the coast of Sicily, an island where English is widely spoken, then click on the description later and you can find all the links to our social media sites as well as our actual website. So, Alida, thank you very much. Arena, you're welcome. Arena F, you're welcome. Jorge, not to worry, Jorge. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Not a problem. And Sergio, thank you very much. Jorge, you can ask him in the comments. Yes, Jorge, feel free to watch the video again. And if you have any questions, just ask in the comment section, and I will get around to answering your questions. So much appreciated, everyone. Well done. It's not easy. This can be quite difficult, especially without a whiteboard or a blackboard. So yes, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow, same time at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much, and bye for now. If you want to know what the schedule is for this week, you can go on Facebook and you can find what we're doing each day. Tomorrow it is how to use adverbs. So thank you very much, guys, and bye for now.